Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. This is actually going to be incident that happened at McDonald's where someone decides they want to berate a McDonald's employee considering they're working a low wage job and they don't have time for this insolent behavior and they're just trying to work and move on with their lives. But let me get straight to the point. So he or she, I don't want to be disrespectful. The person that you see in this picture happens to be a transgender. Um, So basically, the McDonald's employee's name's Alex. He looks like a young employee. Didn't. I don't think clearly he's not the instigator. He mistaken him or her for being Sir. And when you think about it, I don't know, for those who've been in YouTube for like a decade or so or longer or shorter, I'm pretty sure you're aware of the in a similar incident at a GameStop where you had this person, they're like, do not call me sir at a GameStop. And then he's like annihilating the whole store. And then that's as if it was gonna really fix the situation. But if anything, he decided to vandalize the GameStop as as part of his revenge. Because he felt so disrespected that he felt he was entitled to do so. But here in this case is not as like he's not as he or she is not as aggressive. They're actually more it's just more annoying, like irritating based on the person's voice. And they're being very conceited, like, oh, you can kind of tell I'm a woman. Like, can you see these big breasts? And then what's funny is that like he or she is, or I don't know how to address it. I may find her easier. She says that everywhere she goes, she's being called sir, maybe, but does not mean they are intentionally trying to insult you. Because nowadays people are not sure what to say in that situation when they meet somebody, especially someone they just met. And I don't know how to explain it, but I can guarantee you clearly that guy didn't mean any offense. If he wanted, he could have decided to throw hands, but he didn't. And if by saying complaining with the other employees, complaining to the staff in front of the guy and recording it while you were pretty much instigating it, is not really going to get that guy fired because he has a right to tell his side of the story. And for sure, he will not lose his job. He will, I'm sure he will have to apologize, which is a lot, I think is a lot more reasonable. It's just simply apologize and explain that it was a misunderstanding. But people like this are very ignorant, not because the way they look, but the way they act. So sometimes they can't, it'd be more appropriate if had this person cool down, could they say, oh, excuse me, sir, that I prefer not to be addressed as that person. I am not a sir, I am she. And hope you understand. I just don't want you to escalate it and let's make it simple for both of us, honestly. So that we don't so that way I don't feel uncomfortable because I'm sure she would have felt uncomfortable had she explained the situation or her appearance, how she doesn't want to make the sound embarrassing. She wants to make it seem like this is who I truly am. I feel like inside I am that person. I don't want to be misgendered for somebody else or that gender, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is there is no reason to lash out on people who mean no harm, who are just simply trying to work out with their daily life, which is clear, like I said, that guy was not trying to offend anybody. He just mistaken that person for somebody else, that's all there is to it. And there's no way by running your mouth, trying to instigate it by recording somebody, trying to get somebody fired makes you entirely in the right. Does not entirely make you a victim. Because for all there is to it, you just seem like an irrational, like airhead. And there's some people they feel like I think it's a sense of entitlement, but in this case, if you look at it this way, they could look at it, if you look at it this way, the employee will obviously most likely be seen as the victim in this scenario, because this is not a first. Because besides mistaking somebody else for somebody else's gender, let's talk about the amount of people who get harassed being an employee at a low wage shop, especially like McDonald's, at fast food restaurants, at a place like Walmart. There's tons of video clip footage of people, like employees, being berated and harassed for the like this littlest of for the littlest of re for the littlest reasons. Because other people just feel like, because someone's employee, that they have the right to take advantage of that person, and peer pressure them, make them go through all these insults, go through all that yelling, that for them that it's somehow it's their job to make them feel insignificant. But again, like, I'm not gonna explain about my life. Usually, I never been in that situation. I never even argue with employees, simply because I can just tell that these people are innocent. A lot, like I said, most of them are just trying to go by their day. The only time I could see myself going off an employee, unless they have the same attitude as the person that you see in the picture. But this is my take. I'm just simply trying to let people be aware. Like, sure, there are people, like I said, that get misgendered, but it can't be as bad as the employees that get harassed. Like, I wouldn't say constantly, but almost every month you hear about employees working low wage jobs getting harassed by these kind of people who clearly have nothing better to do with their lives but record and post on TikTok, try to clout chase. Because I feel like this person here was looking for an opportunity to get clout as well. So they're not entirely a victim, because they were recording it. So to show to everybody, lots of people will watch, even if the majority might not agree. There are people that'll say there are probably some that maybe in that or there that have the same situation as that person. They'll probably share the same thoughts. Who knows? But again, I don't know. Like, pretty sure the guy did not get fired though. But if anything, this person does not realize that this can follow them back. This can follow them for sure in the future. If someone is able to trace, whoever is able, if someone does trace this person, if they do get traced, this can lead them and follow them straight to their job wherever they're working, and they can leave like a severe complaint to their manager, their boss, and they could decide to have a reconciliation, whether to move this person or they should have them fired. And yeah, that's what this could possibly lead to, especially when you record drama that goes on in your life and you post on the internet, especially when you're the person that escalates and you try to make yourself feel that you are the victim, when in reality you are the narcissist. But in their minds, these people cannot fail to realize that, because they're very hard-headed. They have a massive ego, and they think the world should bend the knee to them, as if because they're upset that things will go their way just by being upset and whining. That just goes to show, like, that's how that's how narcissists exist in the first place. They feel that's how they it needs to be for them, so they can feel they are protecting themselves. That people can somehow, they can try to manipulate. The whole point of a narcissist, they just want to manipulate people into eventually, be like, have them tired out and just simply agree with them and just move forward, and just make it seem like as if none of it even happened in the first place, as if they were never any trouble, and they can somehow keep doing this over and over again until someday, somewhere, someplace, that when it does come to an end, when eventually when people get tired of their bullshit, that someone most likely will confront them and for sure put them in their place and punish them, and realize that there is no point in doing this, and that you will not have your way, and somehow Again, do this to the wrong person, you're asking for it, and then karma will come forth, whether it's knocking on your door or on your workplace. And you just better hope, whether it is in law enforcement or someone who means serious business. Again, I hope this follows this person. I hope they do get fired. And I'm not talking about the McDonald's employee. I'm talking about the person that was berating the employee. Because whether you were offended or not, you can clearly tell that, judging by that person, by the way they reacted, they were simply unsure of themselves. But then they decide to escalate because they feel, oh, this happens everywhere. So I'm wondering, so how come there's no other video footage of that? If this person's claiming that he or she's been misgendered by other places, by other people throughout other establishments, how come he or she didn't record that? Then that could have been a whole story over there, a huge chapter. Tons of video footage, lots of video clips of saying, well, this is the amount of and this is the amount of offense I've been taking throughout every store that I go to, every restaurant, because they keep mistaking me for sir. And again, if you don't want to be judged, just be calm. Like I said, just try to explain a little bit. Yeah, it can be frustrating, but it makes things easier for you. So if you feel uncomfortable with having to explain your personal life or explain why you don't want to be addressed as that person, or what what are some changes that are going on, just keep it calm. Make sure you just have the just make be able to communicate with the person like maturely, and just make it so that, and then try to like I said, calm it down. Again, just explain with a little brief detail as to why you don't want to make this situation feel embarrassing for you when face to face, and just leave a few amount of words and not go straight into your personal life, and just make it seem, just explain that it is personal to you and that you'd appreciate it had they addressed you as that person, but because you don't want to call, you don't want you don't want to feel embarrassed in front of a bunch of group of people, just explain a few words and make it so that both parties, both sides can agree on something, and that it doesn't seem very odd or awkward, because I'm sure that's why the person didn't want to explain to the employee, didn't want to explain to previous people that he or she had issues with, because they feel maybe if someone were to listen, that someone might judge them. If you don't want to be judged, again, it's just best if you explain to the person and try not to make it like a controversy. Now, as of right now, it is a controversy. Just like this, like what he or she was recording with throughout, the argument and the back and forth, wishy-washy nonsense that was going on before he or she hit the record button and decides, you know what, I'm gonna play victim, and there's no reason to explain because I clearly felt I was offended, and I decide if I escalate it and I play the victim, and that goes to show that I might gain some support, and then they may be able to follow me through until I feel better, until I feel better for myself, that I'm in control, and that people can from now on address me 100% of the time as she. And again, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Be sure to check and look forward for a new upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.